Welcome in to the Fun Astrology Podcast for Tuesday, September 21st. Thomas Miller, thanks for joining us. I'm excited. It's my son's birthday week this week. His birthday is actually tomorrow, but first Saturn return for the boy. So he's doing great through it, and they're actually expecting their second daughter, which would be my second grandchild, coming up in a couple of months. So things are going well on the Saturn return, but yeah, he is right there. And I'm just kind of excited being in the space of that moment in my life as a parent to see your first child come through their first Saturn return. All right, so in the chart today, we've got a couple of quick things, and then I thought we'd try to dive into a listener question, maybe or even two. I've been noticing on Astro Twitter that people are talking about Mercury, even in the pre-shadow period, being a little testy already, wondering what this retrograde is going to look like. Well, we have a developing aspect between Pluto and Mercury. So there you go. Pluto in Capricorn, yes, that Pluto in Capricorn squaring Mercury in Libra. And since Mercury is in the sign following the sign that it rules, I say grumpy signs. Mars is in Libra also, the sign of its detriment. So that's the Libran energy that will greet tomorrow's sun when it moves into Libra at 3:14 tomorrow afternoon. The sign of Libra is throwing off some energy for sure. And I know some of you Librans have been feeling that as well. But yes, tomorrow morning at 9:05 in the morning, Eastern Time, Mercury squares Pluto. So that's developing today. It's been moving in that direction for several days, obviously. But that's, I think, why you're feeling some of that mercurial energy, those sparks that you've been feeling over the last few days. And some spillover into the U.S. equity markets yesterday, a big sell-off on Wall Street, and that's not untypical of a fall full moon. And I was still wondering when the Sun-Neptune opposition was going to hit the markets. Kind of figured it should. But that really cool aspect in the chart is what we were talking about yesterday, mentioned it as well. Saturn, Mars, North Node in that big supernova of energy, the grand trine. 3 trines making a triangle in the chart, Saturn, Mars, and the North Node. Now, remember yesterday we said all positive this week, right? We're going to keep it on the positive side of the coin and just play that out through the week because I feel that we need to, as light workers, be focusing on the positives right now. So some would say, ooh, but those are malefic planets. Ah, yes, that was last week's conversation. We're not going into that today. There is extra power, Mars, in laying new foundations, Saturn, of new karma, North Node in Gemini. Out with the old, in with the new, the twin, 2, Gemini. 2, the symbol is even 2. So out with the old, in with the new, lots of power if you so choose. And of course, the sun is just about to crack into that grand trine as well when it crosses the border into Libra tomorrow. So we got some cool stuff coming up. We'll talk more about that tomorrow and through the week. I would like to check in on a couple of quick questions from you guys.
Hi, Thomas and Stephanie. Thank you so much for doing the Medical Astrology Saturdays. I've really been enjoying that. You have both recently mentioned books by Judith Hill. Which ones are you using specifically? Thanks so much.
Thank you for those compliments, and we have really enjoyed bringing you those medical astrology segments on Saturdays, and we're going to keep doing it. By the way, if you have questions, medical questions that you would like Stephanie to address, would you please either email them to info@funastrology.com or put them on the speak pipe at the funastrology.com website up at the top. We need some time to prepare for those, and we would love to answer directly your questions. All right, Judith Hill, she has a great collection, not just medical. She talks about the part of fortune, body types. That's a very good one. Astrological Body Types is a medical book, actually. Vocational Astrology is a book by Judith Hill. But the starting place for her medical book is called Medical Astrology in Action, The Transits of Health. And then I also have her book on the lunar nodes, also the vocational, And now that I'm looking at it, I'm going to pick up the part of fortune and the body types. Now, a couple of others. A Handbook of Medical Astrology by Jane Ritter Patrick is a really good resource. And then I have a couple of others that are offbeat here that I think Stephanie has as well. Oscar Hoffman, Classical Medical Astrology. And then Medical Astrology for Healing by Thea Edwards. You know, this brings up a great point, and I guess we'll only do one question today with this because I want to camp here for a second. Astrology is something that is passed from one to another. Ptolemy incubated things around the 1st century, 2nd century, passed that on. William Lilly in the 1600s. And then astrology almost went dark because the Roman Catholic Church seized and burned many of those original writings. And then the Renaissance of what was resurrected by a lot of people who learned Latin and Greek in order to interpret the texts that remained, created the wave that we have today of people like Robert Hand, Jeffrey Wolf Green, Noel Till, and these others who over the last century, basically, were the baton passers who have created this modern wave of astrology. You have people like Steve Forrest who are putting in schools now to teach their work for the next generation. And you have the younger group of people like Chris Brennan who are doing a tremendous job forwarding, popularizing, and moving astrology forward with what we have today. So when you find excellent writers, Judith Hill being one of them, the best thing to do is to start building your own astrological library. If you don't know where to begin, the 101 course is going to be reintroduced here in just a matter of weeks. I can make a bold statement and say that is going to be back and available and complete, and it is exciting and it is awesome. So it's going to be available here very soon, and that's a great starting place, and then you add the building blocks. Then as you learn it, you develop your own style, just like what I've done. So that's a great question and something that I think can benefit all of us as we think about to what level are we going to do astrology for ourselves. Hope you have a great day. I'll be back tomorrow for Hump Day, and we do have quite a bit happening tomorrow as we enter Libra season. Yay! I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good day.